The energy that Goku had gathered exploded, but it did not scatter. Instead, it fused within him. Then, a new form was born. It was no longer the Goku they knew, but a single entity, one that combines the power of Goku and Golama, the creator of the Dragon Balls. The friends in the other dimension were watching through that energy scope, their eyes wide. Meanwhile, the Queen was the only one who showed no shock or fear at all. So what is she hiding, and will Goku succeed this time? Let's find out in the final episode. But don't forget to support us with a like and a subscription. And now, let's begin. At the heart of the battlefield, the Supreme Queen raised her gaze toward Golama. She stared at him without fear, then said confidently, "Now we are both fused, and we both possess the power of the Dragon Balls. So, let us see what will remain of this existence after our collision." Goku did not respond, but he slowly raised his hand, not toward her, but toward Beerus, who had fallen to the ground. From his palm, a soft, warm energy flowed out. It enveloped Beerus's entire body. His breathing returned. Then Beerus opened his eyes. He stood up and looked toward Goku and froze in place from sheer awe. Goku spoke in a calm voice. "Whis, take Beerus and leave this place. What is about to happen, this place will not withstand it, nor will your existence." Whis and his brothers were all confused, but the greatest shock came when Goku said, "Go with your brothers, restore everyone who has died, and restore planet Earth." Whis froze. "But how? You said the Dragon Balls no longer grant wishes for free. Now every wish has a price." The reply came calmly, yet was shocking. "Yes, this time the price will be valuable enough. Just restore everything quickly, do not leave anyone behind, and in return, give up the Dragon Balls forever." The shock was overwhelming. Beerus said, "But why don't we wait until all the evil is gone?" Goku replied in a decisive tone, "This woman has awakened the curse of the Dragon Balls that was sealed within her ring. Grant the wishes now before the Dragon Balls are corrupted again. Hurry." Without another word, Whis and Beerus vanished in an instant, heading toward the other dimension, toward their friends. The angels followed immediately. They did not hesitate. They did not doubt. Silence returned to the battlefield. Only Goku and the Queen remained. She said, "It seems you are ready to sacrifice everything." Then she raised her hand and continued, "But are you ready to pay the price yourself?" Then the energy exploded. Hundreds of energy blasts surged at once at a terrifying speed, as if tearing space itself apart, leaving him no room to evade. In an instant, the explosion swallowed him completely. Light, destruction, the energy spread in all directions until it seemed as if existence itself was breaking apart. The Queen stood watching, a confident smile forming on her face. Moments passed. Then the smoke began to slowly fade, gradually revealing the truth. Goku, standing there, as he was, unmoved, unaffected. Silence returned. The Queen was not surprised, but as she looked at him standing before her, a hand from behind had already grabbed her by the neck. She had not yet realized it, as the bulk began to increase slowly, and then she understood. The one in front of her was nothing but an afterimage, a trace of speed, a shadow that had not yet moved due to the sheer speed that surpassed time itself. The reality was behind her. Goku was the one holding her now. He tightened his grip. Her veins bulged and her face began to redden. His voice approached her ear, calm. "You plan everything and think you've outpaced everyone. Your overconfidence makes you unable to see the end until it catches you." In that moment, she did not respond. Her body froze from the shock. Suddenly, he delivered a barrage of blows in a fraction of a second. Each strike shook her body violently until her bones cracked. Her body completely lost control. Then she fell to the ground, a heavy impact, and silence followed. At that moment, the friends were not the only ones watching. In every corner of existence, across the universes, everyone was seeing through the sphere, broadcasting the scene everywhere. Goku began to walk toward her. One step, then another. Each step shook the void. But his steps stopped because something was not normal. The queen was still smiling, despite her shattered body. She said in a broken yet confident voice, "Well then, more Goku. Show me everything you've got, because my plan is going exactly as I want." At that moment, in the other dimension, all the angels arrived. They raised their staffs and summoned the Super Dragon. The dragon appeared, a majestic entity that shook existence with its mere presence. The friends were astonished, but worry began to emerge. One of them said, "What if she is hiding more? What if we lose the Dragon Balls and cannot bring anyone back after that?" Tension filled the air, but Whis stepped forward. "Leave the possibilities aside for now. What matters is that we use the Dragon Balls now. The curse is moving in the other dimension within my cunning mother." Someone asked, "Then what is the wish?" Whis stepped forward, raised his head toward the Super Dragon, and remained silent for a few seconds. Then he spoke the wish. Suddenly, the light exploded. A massive radiance flooded everything, and the wish was granted. It was the return of planet Earth from nothingness into existence. The Earth that had been destroyed was restored as it was. The oceans, the mountains, the sky. And in an instant, the friends found themselves standing on the surface of Earth, looking around in astonishment. At that moment, Goku sent his command to Whis. "Now, Whis, bring back everyone who has died and restore every universe that was completely erased immediately." In the other dimension, Whis caught the words, and the wish began to be fulfilled. Goku turned his gaze back toward the queen and said, "Look closely. Everything is being restored now, and everything you destroyed is returning before your eyes." Then a kick. A powerful strike from his foot collided with her body. Her body was launched upward with force, rising into the sky. And yet she was smiling. And within herself she whispered, "Just like this. Keep going. This is what I want." Goku did not give her even a moment. He extended his hand forward, and an invisible force surged out, suddenly wrapping around her neck. She froze in midair, as if an unseen hand was gripping her throat without touching her, slowly suffocating her, the pain increasing. His voice came closer to her. "Your betrayal will not be forgiven, and your end will be a lesson." Then he raised his finger, and suddenly the attack began. Blows that could not be seen, a speed beyond perception, her body shaking in the air, struck from every direction. At that very moment, on planet Earth, Chi-Chi suddenly appeared. The friends were shocked. Then joy erupted for a few moments. Then Goten appeared. But there was someone happier than anyone at his return. It was Bula, Vegeta's daughter, and the reason was clear to everyone. After him, Trunks. One after another, everyone was gradually returning. Laughter, tears, joy, human moments in the middle of the storm. But in the other dimension, the battle did not stop. Goku did not slow down. His attacks continued. Then he said in a powerful voice that pierced through dimensions, "Come on, Whis. Don't leave anyone out. Everyone must return. Vegeta, Zeno, everyone." Whis replied, "I'm trying. I will bring Zeno back now." At that moment, while the dragon was granting the wish, something strange happened. Its eyes suddenly widened. Its body trembled, as if it had been struck by something. At the same time, the queen screamed, a scream that pierced existence. Suddenly, her energy exploded completely. Goku stopped. He looked at her, not understanding, but what he saw was terrifying. A smile of pure evil. She looked at him and said, "Well done, Goku. You have completed your task. Now the connection is established between my power and the power of the Dragon Balls. You have fallen into the trap." Goku felt that something was wrong. On that same moment, on planet Earth, something appeared. An entity standing in silence, a suffocating energy, dark, unbearably evil. The friends turned toward it and froze. One of them said in a trembling voice, "What is that?" "No, impossible. It's him, exactly. The being we all saw in the dream." Everyone looked at it. The same face, the same features, a copy of Goku. On the other side, the angels were shocked. Whis looked at the dragon, but the dragon had stopped. The light dimmed, and its eyes no longer responded. Its function had ceased, and at that moment, everyone understood. The game had never been in their favor. The Supreme Queen was laughing. "You thought you were getting close to finishing me. If I had only one soul, everything would have ended. But this ring carries ancient souls. I only used them to reach this moment and to achieve a complete connection between my power and the pure power of the Dragon Balls inside you during your attacks. Now, I am the one who controls the dragon, and your friends, that entity that manifested because of me, will grant them their final moments. Simply put, Goku, the curse is now in my hands." Goku did not respond, but he sent a direct message to Whis. "Whis, use the pure sphere I left for you. The power inside it is the soul of my young son, completely pure. Try to purify the dragon at any cost, even if we can only bring back Vegeta." Whis immediately understood. The Kaioshin stepped forward, raised their hands, and summoned that pure energy. It surged toward the dragon, which began to tremble. A struggle had begun within it, between purity and the curse consuming it. Beerus spoke quickly. "Whis, I think that the more we try to bring back a powerful person, the longer it takes. I have another idea." Whis turned and understood Beerus's intention. On planet Earth, that entity stepped forward, then said, "I am the face that appeared to you. I am the doubt I planted in your hearts. This time, no one will save you." Fear spread among the friends, but at that moment, Goku's voice reached them. "Gohan, listen to me carefully. Do not despair. Unite your powers and fight." Gohan stepped forward. Beside him, Goten and Trunks. They stood together, then said angrily, "I swear, even if you are at your peak, you will not take our lives or our planet." He raised his hands, and Goten and Trunks did the same. Energy began to gather, to grow. Then they launched the attack. A massive wave of energy surged toward the entity. Then the scene was revealed. It was unaffected, standing exactly as it was. The shock struck everyone. The entity spoke mockingly. "Let me give you a taste of your own cup." Then it launched an attack that brought down the three of them at once, without any real effort. In the other dimension, the Queen smiled. She looked at Goku and said calmly, "You will not succeed. I have distributed the souls in balance between my body and that entity. For it to be defeated, both bodies must be destroyed at the same moment, with the same force. You are strong, but your friends are not. And now, I can fight you with peace of mind, Goku." Then she rushed toward him at tremendous speed and began a series of consecutive attacks, but they had no effect. Goku stood still as if everything hitting him meant nothing. Her attempts repeated as if she were striking an untouchable void. Amid all that, he sent his voice to the other dimension.
Do not despair, my friends. Rise again. Try. I am waiting for you. I need all of you standing. On planet Earth, Gohan moved slowly. I will not back down. I will try again. One of the friends intervened. We all saw that dream. We saw how the curse played with our minds. We were part of this destruction, and we will not stand by. Then one of them shouted, "This is our time to act."
The girls stepped forward as well, determined to change something, even if it was only a little. Then after that,
everyone stood up. Each of them unleashed everything they had, every transformation, every power, every suppressed energy. All released at once. The sky trembled, but the entity was only smiling. It deflected the attack with ease. Goku was fighting the Queen using only 10% of his power. He was waiting for the right moment. The Queen laughed in the middle of the battle and said, "Your thinking is admirable. I like your way of finding hope." Goku did not respond. Instead, he sent his voice,
"Whis, hurry, focus on purification. Do not distract yourselves with what is happening here."
Whis replied immediately, "We are almost done. There is not much left." On planet Earth, the attack stopped momentarily. Exhaustion appeared on the friends. The entity was still standing without a single scratch. "I think you've had enough." Then it slowly raised its hand. "Now let me raise the intensity." The friends froze. Their numbers were not enough, but suddenly light descended from the sky, from every direction. Multiple energies, different, immense. They were the fighters of the other universes, all of them. Even Frieza, who had been absent somewhere, descended with a cold smile, and behind him his entire army. He looked at the battlefield and said confidently, "I'm a little late, but when Emperor Frieza arrives, know that the end of his enemies is near." Jiren spoke, "We too were part of this mistake, therefore we will protect your planet, Goku." The entity looked at them, then laughed mockingly. "Oh, it seems the fun has just begun."
But before he could finish, the place shook and other energies appeared, stronger, heavier. The kings of destruction had returned, one after another, with Beerus at the front, the one who had wished for their return first. Before he could speak, Champa stepped forward and said, "Don't think we're here to save you, Beerus. We're here to end this chaos." The entity said in a deep voice, "Then do not disappoint me. Show me now what you've got." At that moment, the scene exploded. One after another, everyone began charging their energy. Cries rose, auras ignited. Every fighter, every warrior, every being from every universe unleashed everything they had without hesitation. No holding back anymore. No calculation, no fear, just everything at once. A collective wave of energy, greater than anything in the history of the universes. The pressure was immense, and for the first time, the entity began to be affected. A scream burst from it. Anger, pain, resistance. At the same time, in the other dimension, Goku was fighting the Queen, but he was still in control, waiting, calculating the moment to deliver the final blow. On Earth, the struggle continued, seconds that felt like eternity. Then, an explosion. A massive light engulfed everything, and when it cleared, the entity was still standing. Damaged, yes, its body bore marks, but it had not fallen. Silence struck everyone. One of them said in shock, "Impossible! That was our full power." Another whispered, "Even with the gods of destruction, we failed." The entity slowly raised its head. "Damn you! I will not go easy on you this time." It raised its hand. A terrifying energy began to form, greater, heavier, more dangerous than anything before. Then it said, "This is your end, all of you." It launched it toward planet Earth, but before it could reach, light exploded. A radiant, pure glow cut through the darkness, and from within the light, he appeared, standing firm. It was Vegeta. The prince had finally returned. Beerus smiled slightly and said, "It seems we send the Kaioshians succeeded." Hope returned, but Vegeta did not smile. He did not even look at them. He said coldly, "Move away." Silence. Then he repeated sharply, "Get away from this place immediately." His energy began to rise. Then he said in a decisive voice, "Come on, Kakarot, let's deliver the final blow now." In the other dimension, the voice arrived. Goku said calmly, "All right, Vegeta, let's end this." At the same moment, the two of them charged their energy, a massive power, balanced, pure. The friends withdrew. The humans were protected by a barrier from Whis. Vegeta released his energy, and at the same moment, Goku lodged his attack from the other dimension. Perfect synchronization. The entity screamed. Its body began to disintegrate, but Vegeta remained calm, confident. And in the other dimension, the Queen screamed, for the first time with real fear. They had done it together, with faithful hearts free of pride. The moment had come. Then, the great explosion. A light engulfed everything, on Earth and in the other dimension. Right after that, on planet Earth, everything calmed down. The sky returned to normal. The friends stepped forward and joy came back, especially after the return of Vegeta. But the feeling was not normal. Vegeta slowly walked toward the center of the explosion, then suddenly stopped. Something was there. A small body, lying, motionless. Zeno. Silence struck everyone. One of them whispered, "Impossible! How?" Whis stepped forward calmly, looked, then said, "Now I understand. When we wished for Zeno-sama's return, he did not come back as he was. Instead, he returned inside that entity. That monster was not just a creature, it was a prison." Beerus narrowed his eyes. "A prison for Zeno?" Whis, "Yes. My mother awakened the curse at the exact moment we decided to bring Zeno back, to use his power against us." Another said, "But what now? And what about Goku?" Everyone raised their heads upward, where the scene was still unfolding. In the other dimension, the Queen had fallen. Her body collapsed, her energy almost gone. Nearby, a few meters away, the Grand Priest had also fallen, his body separated from her. Goku stepped forward, looked at the Queen, then stopped. Something strange. Tears. They were falling from her eyes, slowly. But he did not step back. He kept looking at her coldly. She spoke in a broken voice. "Damn you all. You are the ones who forced me to use the curse that was inside the ring. I had sealed the Grand Priest inside that ring because he was infected by the curse so that the balance would not collapse." Goku replied coldly, "It's over. The balance will return, and you will be forgotten." She responded with a weaker voice, but more dangerous. "If that were the case, then that would have been more merciful." Goku felt something was wrong. "What do you mean?" she said. "It's too late, Goku. The curse inside me will explode, and it will spread across all existence, in every place, in everything." Shock. Goku froze. Everyone heard every word. Gohan said with a trembling voice, "No, that can't be. Finish it, father, now!" Goku looked at the Queen, then said, "Then I will end you now." "It's too late, Goku. The curse cannot be ended unless it is sealed." Goku did not respond. He simply looked. Seconds of heavy silence. Then the light began to ignite within the Queen's body, a sign that the explosion was near.
At that moment, Goku closed his eyes. Then he said with a strange calm, "If the solution is sealing, then I have the answer."
Suddenly, the light burst from him. Then, something happened that no one expected. Golama separated. His eyes widened in real shock. "What is this?" He looked at Goku. "What did you do, Goku? Why did you separate the fusion?" Goku was calm. He said, "I think it's obvious." Golama shouted, "Answer me!" Goku looked at him. "I did what had to be done. What we were aiming for has been achieved. Everyone has returned, and you are freed from the prison of the Super Dragon Balls. Now, what happens next doesn't matter." Golama froze. Goku raised his eyes again. "Take the Grand Priest and leave. Immediately." Golama was shocked. "What do you mean? Goku, answer me! What are you planning to do?" And then he said it, calmly, yet as if the entire universe heard it. "I will seal her inside my body. The explosion will happen within me." Shock shook the hearts of all beings. The voice reached everyone. Gohan screamed at the top of his lungs. "No! Why, Father? Don't do this! Have you lost your mind? Just finish her off, like you did before with Zeno, when you stopped the curse." Goku did not answer, because he knew why. Then Whis spoke. "I understand now. The curse cannot be destroyed. When Goku removed the curse from Zeno, it did not disappear. Instead, it reorganized itself. It was still inside my father when he was sealed within the ring. If that had not happened, the curse would have exploded long ago inside Zeno's body when Goku defeated him." Everyone understood. Everyone began to cry as they watched Goku step forward toward the queen and place his hands on her. Her energy began to be completely drained, and at that moment Goku said, "Move away now, Golama. This place will completely explode. Take the Grand Priest and leave immediately, and create a beautiful life for everyone." Golama carried the Grand Priest, tears in his eyes, then said in a broken voice, "But is this truly how you chose your end, Goku?" But Goku interrupted him in a louder voice. "It doesn't matter what happens to me. What matters is that everyone is safe." At that moment, the queen began to scream in pain, on the verge of exploding. Goku shouted, "Hurry, Golama! Leave now!" Golama understood that there was no other choice. He took the Grand Priest and departed, leaving Goku alone, while Goku said, "I'm sorry. At least all of you are safe. All of you are alive." At that moment, everything began. He let out a powerful scream, and she screamed as well. The explosion started, immense energy colliding within the body. The light ignited, and then the explosion happened. Everything ended, but at a very great cost. On planet Earth, hours had passed since that ending. Golama and the Grand Priest arrived, but what they found was not just sadness, it was total collapse. Everyone, without exception, had fallen. Tears, silence, empty stares. One feeling filled the place: loss. Even after the return of Vegeta, there was no real joy. His wife, Bula, their eyes were not filled with happiness, but with something heavier: regret. Because all of them remembered the moments they wronged Goku. They remembered how they doubted him, how they believed he was the danger, and how he ended up being their savior. In another corner, Zeno, after being revived, spoke in a small voice. "I couldn't even see you." At that moment, the Grand Priest stepped forward, trying to compose himself. "I want all of you to accept this reality, and I offer my apology. I was ignoring the truth. I did not realize that my wife was the cause of all this, but now there is no use looking back. We must honor Golama and begin a new chapter." Zeno slowly raised his head, then said, "All right, and what do we do now?"
The Grand Priest looked toward Golama, then said calmly, "Golama will determine the future of this existence." "What do you think, Golama? Everything is in your hands now." Golama was standing, his eyes closed. He did not respond. He did not move. The silence stretched until suddenly everyone realized he was speaking, but not to the Grand Priest. It was as if he were speaking to himself. "All right, I understand. So you wanted it to be this way. It's fine. I will take care of it. Take your time." Everyone looked at him in shock. One of them said, "Who is he talking to?" Another whispered, "Is he talking to himself?"
Suddenly, Golama opened his eyes. He looked at all of them and said clearly, "I want you, in 1 week, to organize a ceremony." Shock. Silence returned, but this time it was filled with confusion. The Grand Priest stepped forward and said, "Lord Golama, excuse me, but what kind of ceremony do you mean?" Golama did not change his expression. He simply said, "Do it. 1 week only. The ceremony will be held on this planet, and I want everyone to attend, without exception." Everyone was silent, but at that moment, Golama looked at Vegeta and said, "Vegeta, you will be in charge of the atmosphere, an order from someone who wants all of you to attend the ceremony." Vegeta smiled. He closed his eyes for a few seconds, as if he understood everything, then said, "I see, so that's how it is." Then he opened his eyes and looked directly at his daughter, Bulla, a deep, silent look without explanation. She looked back at him, not understanding. Then he said calmly, "All right, a ceremony. I have an idea then." A full week passed until that day arrived, the long-awaited day. On the purest spot on planet Earth, everyone was present without exception. Friends, all dressed in the finest clothes. Creatures from different universes were also gathered for this event. Even the angels and the gods of destruction, all assembled in that place, in a solemn silence befitting the greatness of the moment. Joy was visible on the faces. In a corner, Zenos sat on his throne, smiling, looking at everything with innocence, as if he were happy simply because everyone was together. At that moment, Golama and the Grand Priest stepped forward slowly. "All right, step forward. Bride and groom, it's time." And here, the nature of the event was revealed. It was not just a ceremony, it was a wedding. The two stepped forward under everyone's gaze. Joy increased, faces shone brighter, whispers began, and happiness spread throughout the place. Bulma said joyfully, "I can't believe this was your idea, Vegeta. Who told you they were planning to get married?" Vegeta smiled and said, "Just wait a little. You'll find out who." Chi-Chi watched, proud of her son, Goten. The Grand Priest spoke, "All right, you may exchange the rings." The moment had come. Goten began placing the ring on his bride's finger. Suddenly, he stopped. His hand started trembling, and without any warning, a tear fell. Sadness overwhelmed him all at once, as if everything he tried to forget came back in a single moment. Bulla looked at him and immediately understood. She didn't ask, she wasn't surprised. She simply stepped closer, trying to support him. With a broken voice, he said, I wish you were here. I can't believe you're not with us. Dad." Silence fell over the place. Smiles disappeared. Expressions changed. Sadness spread quickly, as if it had been waiting for this moment to appear. Chi-Chi felt something pierce her heart. The emptiness she had tried to ignore all week came rushing back at once. Bulla moved closer, holding his hand, but the pain was too great to hide. And in that moment, a voice burst out. "Don't cry, hero Goten." The voice was strong, clear. It shook the entire place. Goten's eyes widened suddenly. His body froze. His heart raced wildly. Everyone else too. All eyes turned, searching. Shock, confusion, all of them, except Vegeta, who smiled and said, "I've been waiting for you." At that exact moment, the hall was filled with light. A light not ordinary. A warm, majestic light, imposing its presence as if something from another world had arrived. From within the gateway, shapes began to appear.
One step, then another. A figure, walking calmly, steadily. His attire, pure, noble. Then, the face became clear. Goku, holding his newborn son in his arms. Eyes widened. Breaths stopped. It was him. It wasn't an illusion. It wasn't a dream. He was standing right in front of them. Goten said, "Is this real, Dad?" But the voice cut through everything. He stepped forward, then said, "This is not a dream, my son. Yes, it's me, and I'm here at the most important moment of your life." And in that moment, everything exploded. Joy, shock, tears, voices. Chi-Chi didn't wait. She ran toward him and embraced him tightly, as if afraid he might disappear. What she had lost had returned to her. Goku and their new child. At the same moment, Goten rushed toward him, fast, with force, and hugged him, more tightly than ever before, as if he was proving to himself that this was not a dream, that this body was real, that he had truly come back.
Ban stepped forward and hugged her grandfather tightly. Then Gohan followed, his voice trembling as he said, "Dad, we tried. We really tried to forget this sadness and pretend to be happy. But deep inside, something was always missing. No matter what we did, we're truly sorry." Goku replied,
"There's no need to apologize. That emptiness wasn't a lack. It was a sign of your sincerity."
Goku stepped forward, and in a distant corner stood Zeno. He didn't move, just watched, his eyes filled with tears. In that moment, he moved. He started running, fast, then threw himself into Goku's arms, hugging him tightly, and said in a broken voice, "I'm sorry, Goku. We fought you, and we couldn't save you." Goku replied, "Zeno, what you learned is more important than anything. Every step we took, even the wrong ones, led us to this moment." Zeno smiled and said, "But how did you come back, Goku? The Super Dragon Balls are gone." Silence fell. All eyes turned toward him. Goku raised his head slightly, then said calmly, "The truth is, I didn't die. The small orb that carried a part of my son's power, it saved me and pulled both my body and the Queen's body away. My son's pure spirit inside that orb erased the curse and separated my body from the damage. That created a reaction that restored me completely." Everyone's eyes widened. "Do you mean my little brother is the one who saved you?"
"Yes, and as Zalama said before, my son is the medium and the key."
Silence returned. Then someone asked, "But where were you all this week?" Before he could answer, Zalama intervened. He said calmly, "No one could sense him. His energy, it was different. Only those connected to the Dragon Balls could feel it. He contacted me, and he had a goal, to make his return part of a surprise for this wedding." Vegeta stepped forward, smiling. "What kind of surprise? Flowers, maybe? Are you kidding me, Kakarot? I knew you'd come back. Don't tell me your presence is the surprise." Goku smiled and said calmly, "No, not that, Vegeta, but a bigger surprise. One worthy of the wedding of our children that you organized." Vegeta looked slightly embarrassed. "Don't get the wrong idea. What matters to me is the continuation of Saiyan blood." Goku smiled and said in a strangely calm tone, "All right, you won't need to worry about that anymore." Then suddenly he said, "You can come in now." They looked toward the entrance. The door opened slowly. Silhouettes began to appear, shapes not yet clear. Gradually, the faces were revealed. It was Bardock and Jean, Goku's parents, and also the parents of Vegeta. Shock struck the hearts of everyone present, an indescribable feeling. Even Vegeta himself, who understood more than anyone what was happening, felt the weight of the moment on his heart. The guests began to step forward slowly. Vegeta said in clear astonishment, Kakarot, what is this? I can't believe what you've done." Goku stepped forward with a smile,
All right, everyone, welcome my parents and Vegeta's parents. The shock spread again. No one had any idea about them. One of the friends, stunned, said, "But Goku, how did you even think of this? We never expected you to even talk about your ancestors." It's true that I lost my memory and forgot everything, but thanks to Pan, I made a promise to bring my parents back because she wanted to see her grandparents. I used the last remaining wish from the Dragon Balls to bring back the entire Saiyan race. Of course, the price was giving up the Dragon Balls forever. And so, I kept my promise. Pan, despite what she heard, remained in shock, just staring. Bardock stepped forward, his voice mixed with astonishment and pride. "Kakarot, I can't believe you lived such a happy life. I'm truly proud of you." Then his mother, Jean, stepped forward. "You have such a big family now. You've grown and become brave and strong." Goku smiled, but Vegeta remained focused, his eyes fixed only on his parents, still overwhelmed by shock. King Vegeta felt his body tremble and said in a low voice, "My son, you now have a family. This is unbelievable." In that moment, embarrassment overwhelmed him. He couldn't move until his father suddenly pulled him into a strong embrace in front of everyone. Then his mother stepped forward and for the first time since they were separated when he was a child, embraced him deeply and said, "Goku told us about you and your family. My heart is filled with pride to see you, Vegeta." The entire place was filled with an indescribable, joyful energy. Everyone in the hall felt the weight and greatness of the moment. At that instant, King Vegeta's eyes fell upon Beerus and he trembled. Shock overwhelmed him as he said, "Lord Beerus, you are here as well." Goku laughed lightly and said, "Don't worry, King Vegeta. A lot has changed now. It's not like you used to know." The king looked at his son Vegeta and said, "How did you live in an environment with beings far stronger than us, Vegeta?" Vegeta didn't answer, but suddenly, without warning, the entire hall trembled. It was Vegeta. In the middle of the ceremony, he manifested his new transformation without explanation. King Vegeta, shocked, said, "No, I can't believe it. What is this?" Vegeta smiled and said, "Do you think, father, that your prince is a coward who would stand aside without showing his power?" Trunks laughed and said, "That's my dad. Even at celebrations, he doesn't know when to show off his strength." Vegeta smirked and said with focus, "Listen to me, Kakarot. The best thing we can do now in front of our parents is to show the laws of the Saiyan people. There's no set time to display power. Show me what you've got." Goku replied with a calm smile, "All right, no problem." Suddenly, a sharp voice interrupted them. "Stop! Wait! I want to show you what I can do." Then she suddenly closed her eyes and transformed into Ultra Instinct for the first time. Everyone was stunned, especially Goku, who said in shock, "How did you do that? Were you hiding this transformation?" Pan replied, "Grandpa, you told me before that hybrids evolve quickly, and now I want to fight in front of my grandparents." Laughter and amazement erupted everywhere. The ceremony turned into a showcase of power. Suddenly, Goku transformed and said to his granddaughter, "Show me what you've got. I won't go easy on you in front of them." The two rushed outside and began fighting before everyone. Meanwhile, Vegeta felt slightly embarrassed after being ignored by Goku, but the surprise came from behind, a voice. "Dad, you're not alone. I know you want to make your parents proud in your own way." Suddenly, she too transformed into Ultra Instinct. Bulma and the others were shocked, while Goten said in disbelief, "Bulla, this isn't the time." But Bulla continued with determination. "Come on, Dad, let's show them what we're capable of too." A smile appeared on Vegeta's face. He said, "That's my daughter, the true pride of the Saiyans."
Suddenly, both of them rushed forward. Vegeta with his daughter Bulla and Goku with his granddaughter Pan. And the battle began before everyone. Their parents stood there, stunned, eyes wide open, while everyone in the palace watched. It was a scene where power and joy intertwined into a painting of excitement and thrill, as if the entire palace was pulsing with life before the strength of the new generation. Everyone stood behind the windows, watching in silence. Their eyes were not only following the power, but seeing something far deeper than that. The fight was no longer just a display. It had become a language, telling the story of what they had been through and what they had learned. They realized that the pain they lived through was not the end, but a path that led them to this moment, a moment of correction, a moment of awareness. They understood that the one who made mistakes can rise again, the one who lost can find again, and the one who thought it was over might be on the verge of a new beginning. None of them were the same anymore, because the truth revealed to them was clear. The greatest strength is not born from victory, but from the ability to admit mistakes and then rise to change them.